It's King Kogi, aka Martina, your friendly neighborhood Caucasian lady. Today, I want to talk to you about the glories of Korean barbecue. Can I get a what in here? What? And we're talking about Korean barbecue at home. One of the things I miss the most about living in Korea is barbecue outdoors. I don't know why, but there was just something about being outside and like smelling the air and grilling meat, and in the wintertime, like surviving through the warmth of the grill. While I am not Korean, I did live in Korea from 2008 to 2016, and I would say that it was also the best time for K-pop ever. I'm just saying. You can come, you can fight me, but we're talking about, just to name a few, Girls' Generation, Super Junior, XO, 21, Big Bang, M Black, Batoost, Tiara, Orange Caramel, Psy, Sistar. It goes on and on. What? Come at me. You have no idea how many fan clubs have come at me by now. So step one, we are heading out to go to my local Korean mart because there are some items that you just can't buy at a normal grocery store. Let us go. We're at Pat's, my favorite Korean supermarket. Now, normally I go to the Pat's that's in Toronto. It's on Bloor Street at Christie Station, which is K-Town. But since I've been gone and have returned to Canada, turns out Pat has a gigantic grocery store now in Mississauga. They've got everything we need and more. They also have Japanese import stuff, so might do some cheeky extra grocery shopping. Let's go, Pat.
Let's go, Pat doesn't sound, I'll think of something better. To the Pattery? To the Patmobile? To the Patmobile.
Ooh. All right, pre-sliced green onions. They slice these with those kind of slicers that have 4 little mini blades, and they kind of like run it down the center into strips. This is necessary for Korean barbecue, at least in my opinion. Can't really find that at any Loblaws and Metros. I'm gonna have some mushrooms for grilling as well. And what's super cool is they actually have this, which is a product of South Korea. They have Ontario grown ones as well, but I wonder what the difference in taste is. I'm gonna get the South Korean ones. All right, in English, this is perla leaf. I never knew what that even meant. In Korean, it's kaenip, and to me, it has to go with Korean barbecue. It has a nice little herbally taste. Into the basket. Just a side note, if you're looking to save money, you should definitely come to a lot of Asian marts because this is $12 for Ontario grown king mushrooms. It's mushroom soup season, so I'm gonna be coming back here and buying all my bulk stuff for making soup. It is so reasonably priced. I'm just saying. I don't want to murder anybody by getting an overly hot pepper. This says it's slightly hot. What does that mean on the scale of people who have a Korean taste bud? I don't know. This is just like a sack of peppers. I'm gonna get, ooh, which ones? You guys can let me know in the comment section, but does a crinkly pepper to you versus like a smooth pepper make you think that one of these is gonna be spicier? I don't know. I am making Banchan as well as a side dish, so I'm gonna go for the slightly hot ones, and then that way it'll be a bit of a punch to the Banchan. Yeah, this will be good. $3.23. That's a good deal. We're gonna get some samu. I was like, what is it in English? I'm like, it's just samu. It is radish that's been pickled. I have to have this if I'm gonna have barbecue. I must. You must. Today. Leaf, pre-shredded green onions, pre-peeled garlic, whole green pepper. This makes me so happy. Like the first time I came here, I was like, squee! This is the super soft tofu that you use for making sundubu jjigae. This is the sundubu. This is the soft tofu, and you squeeze it out. You cut the bottom, and it's like, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't look great, but it tastes amazing. I need a bit firmer of a tofu because I'm gonna be making,
My brain just went,
you can stay, but I'm leaving. Banchan jjigae. I'm making banchan jjigae, so I'm gonna get a little bit firmer of a tofu. Yeah.
wow, even acorn jelly.
Ooh, sweet onions. Okay, so Pat's makes their own kimchi, which something you can look for is when it was packed. So it was packed on October 15th. They have ones that are like October 7th or ones that are October 5th. What that means is that the kimchi is going to get funkier. So if you're going to make something like kimchi jjigae or kimchi bokkeumbap, like kimchi fried rice, the funkier, the older, the better. If you want to eat it fresh with a meal, you want it to be a little bit younger. So I'm going to go for a more recently packed one so that we can eat the kimchi with our meal and it's not as like, woo, and then it'll age as time goes on in the fridge. It's perfect. This is really quite funny. They're playing Busker Busker. If anyone knows me from 2008 Korea, you'll know that I know Busker Busker pretty well. And now the most important part of having Korean barbecue. I'm gonna go for samgyeopsal, and I'm also gonna go for moksal, which is one of my favorite cuts. It's just not as fatty, but quite tasty. And then I was quite delighted to see they have haengjeongsal, which is actually the meat that's near the jaw. It's really tasty, easy to cook, very nice. I know it's all veggie, but at the same time, each piece tastes a bit differently. So I think this should be enough. And anything you don't eat, I can just freeze it up and put it in stew later on. I'm gonna find a bag so they don't meat everywhere. All right, so this is a bit of a cheat. I'm getting the toppings that I made for bibimbap that I'm gonna use as banchan. I should probably just make my own banchan, but I just do not have energy for that right now. So for 10 bucks, I'm gonna get zucchini, beans, spinach, pickled eggplant or something, which I've never seen in Korea, so that's new to me, and then some radish, and we can enjoy that as banchan. It'll be fine. This is the ajumavajler, the most important thing for biking in Korea. I had like 2 of them, and they come down over your face completely. So there's absolutely no sunlight hitting your precious, precious skin. If you're ever wondering why, oh, how come Asian people look so young all the time? Skin protection, BB cream, sunblock, hats, arm sleeve covers. Turns out the deadly, deadly laser makes you look old.
I love the ajumavizers.
Who's the pot king? Living in Canada, where pot is legal, it could be any of us, really. Mon little mate. It's like French and UK English came together. Mon little mate. All my students in Banchan will wear these on their bangs or their fringe, and it would keep their hair cute and puffy. And I looked everywhere for a gigantic hair roller and I couldn't find it at all. You'd think you could find it, right? No, I would take 2, cut them together to form 1. And then I came to Pat's and I was like, oh, the sacred 50 mil. And I bought it immediately. So I walk around the house with a curler, and it's smart, okay? Heatless curl, everybody, heatless. All right, all the supplies for barbecue have been procured. Why did I choose this word? All the barbecue supplies have been procured. I don't know why. I got all the stuff, you guys. I got all the stuff that I need for barbecue. And one thing I love about Pat's is that they have a place where you can order food afterwards. I'm so used to that from Korea. You grocery shop in like Home Plus or E-Mart, and they have like a little place where you can order food. They even have the same system. So they have a little screen behind me that says your food is ready, and it goes bing bong, and the number comes up and you go pick it up. So I just love it. It's like being in Korea and being not in Korea at the same time, because I can see English and I can hear English, but I hear Korean, and you'll have ajumas like, you know, snuffling about getting veg and stuff, and you can hear them talking, and it's a very bizarre combination for me, but I love it. It's like, yeah, home within home. And I'm pretty hungry after looking at all this food.
You never should grocery shop hungry. This is a lesson to be learned for us all. But here I am waiting for food.
Yeah. There was one unfortunate thing that happened. They had vinegar for the naengmyeon, but I said, oh, do you have any mustard? And they're like, we don't have any mustard. And I was like, what? And he's like, I know, everyone keeps asking for it. He's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, that's okay. And you know what I love? Irashamase! The Japanese ohashi that come with it. But most importantly, scissors. Let's get eaten. All right, I always put my ohashi straight to the center and just try to pull it apart a bit. 4 cuts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And back to mixing. Food that makes you work. Bibimbap is mixed with a spicy sauce, but moulingyan is in the broth, water, so it's soaking in it. And just mix it all up until it's coated. And then immediately splatter it on anything that's light. It's okay, I'm wearing a black shirt today for this entire reason. Not today, bibimbap. And per tradition, someone told me this in Korea, is it true? I don't know. They said you should eat your egg first because it protects your stomach, because the noodles can be harsh since they're made with buckwheat. Is that true? I don't know, but I've been doing it ever since. Oh, wait a second. Hey guys, you know what I've noticed about Canada? You have the loudest hand dryers I have ever heard. When did this happen? When I was a kid, you'd push a button and it would be like, and like barely dry your hands. I came back, everyone's got Dysons. You put your hands underneath it, it like blows your skin off. One of them actually said, danger, sound like the sound is too high. Why are we installing machines that are damaging our... That's the sound of the food being called. See, it's just like Korea. Okay, it's getting chaotic. We'll see you guys back home for some Korean barbecue. I'm gonna enjoy this meal. Don't splatter on me. It's too unsexy. You must look away. Look away. Look away. Don't watch me. Okay, back from the Korean grocery store, and I did all the prep required for this. It took me a couple of hours. If you've been to any Korean restaurant, you will know there are tons of little dishes all over the tables. And to me, the banchan, or the side dishes, and all that stuff that comes for free, like you order your meal and it's all part of it, that is Korean food. So when I go to a place that does Korean barbecue and they don't offer all these different dishes, or like in Japan, where I lived for 7 to 8 years, they would charge you for things like kimchi and banchan and like give you 6 pieces of lettuce to wrap up your meat, and then they charge you extra if you needed more. What do you, like, it's insane. Like, it should come with it. So for today, what I want to set up is what I consider the base level of what you need to have Korean barbecue. You can add more, but to me, it's like if you take any of these away, something's missing, y'all. But that's just from my experience. Let's get started setting things up, starting with the gas. Okay, I have my gas barbecue and I bought this Korean grill. It has a hole in the back where the grease is gonna drain off. This is fantastic so that your samgyeopsal, what happened there? Some detective beaver slipped in. Your samgyeopsal and everything can get crispier when the fat is taken away from it, just like cooking bacon at home. So make sure you have a drip tray. I'm just using a tin tray and I'm gonna put it underneath here, like that, so it catches all the fat. And this is just like a bonus extra, but in Japan they sell these, it's like wax that you pour into hot oil, and then when the oil cools, the wax has melted in with it and makes it solid, so you have an easier way to dispose of your fat. I'm sure you can get these now somewhere in North America, but this one is top value, best price from my basket. I'm gonna be pouring some of that into this container so that the fat will mix in. Next up, the tools. Look, I'm Edward Scissorhand, but the barbecue version. Edward Scissorhand in Korea would be amazing. He'd be like doing all the amazing cuts. Curved scissors. These are barbecue meat scissors. They make things so much easier, and little barbecue tongs, so you're pinching it up and then you're cutting the meat. Korea changed my life regarding scissors. I have so many kitchen scissors in my house. Scissors, y'all. And since we're cooking with gas, literally, this was so scary to me when I was living in Korea. Like, there's a gas can inside of it, but it's quite simple when you actually get to know it. You take off this red cap here, and there is a really tiny little hole, and that hole, if I tilt it, you can see it there, needs to connect to the gas diddle-doodle hole as well. It's like one little bit touching one little bit. And take a look at this little notch. There is a notch that matches it. So we're gonna just put this in. Some of the machines have like a latch at the back that pushes it. This one, I just shove it in. It's lined up with the notch, and I'm just gonna push it in, and it's in. I'm gonna close it up, and you wanna turn the knob all the way to the end to get the igniter going. So I'm gonna turn it, hold it for a bit, and there you have it. All right, we're moving on to banchan. Banchan is just side dishes in Korean. There are all different kinds of side dishes. It's whatever kind you want. I'm going for some classics. I'm doing bean sprout with sesame seeds and sesame oil. I'm doing spinach with a little bit of sesame seeds and sesame oil. And I'm also doing a little bit of zucchini. Why did I slowly fall over? It's the damn Crocs, you guys. I'm wearing actual Crocs. I know what has happened to me, but they're fur-lined and so comfortable. All I need is a fur vest, and I'm into my ajima mode. Someone from Korea, send me one of those ajima fur vests, please. And of course, the king of all banchan, it's kimchi. It is quite strong smelling, I warn you, so sometimes keep a lid on it if you don't want that smell, but I don't mind it. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Onto the wraps for the meat. The classic, this is sangchu, just normal leafy green lettuce. And underneath it, I also have packed in here. I had to wash and pat all these down, by the way. So that is the part about preparing for Korean barbecue that takes a while. Wow, I have really buried these in an inconvenient location. This is a perla leaf in English. I had never heard of that in my entire life until I went to Korea. It's not like shishito, which is Japanese. It's Korean, it has its own taste to it. The best I can say is like if basil and mint had a baby, it kind of has that like fresh herby taste to it. Maybe some of you like it, some of you don't. Don't eat it on its own. You eat it as a wrap and it is magical. Love this little leaf. Now you might say, Martina, that seems like a copious amount of leaves. Do you really need that many leaves? And the answer is yes, absolutely yes. Basically, I consider myself eating a sneaky salad when I do Korean barbecue. If I eat 20 pieces of meat and 20 pieces of lettuce with that, I mean, it's basically a salad, right? I feel like that counts. In addition, this is sammu. This is a radish wrap. If I show you on the back of it, it's just like a circle shape. It's a daikon radish that has been sliced very thinly and then kind of in a pickled environment for a while. They also have little cubed versions of this that you might have when you have fried chicken. They just go hand in hand. It's really refreshing. I'll show you how to use this when we start cooking, but I just love the mu. Martina, what else have you got down there? Wouldn't you like to know? You will know though, I'll tell you. So we have our side dishes, our banchan, we have our wraps, but what do we put in our wraps or put on our meat for flavoring? Let's get going here. I'm going to be putting out samjang. Samjang is a combination of Korean miso paste called doenjang, and they mix it with like garlic and salt, and there's some sugar, and it has a really lovely flavor to it. You can dip vegetables in it, but it's also an amazing paste you use on your wraps with your meat. Of course, I put them in cute little bowls. So this is the samjang. I'm just gonna pop it over here. And these are the shredded green onions from the grocery store. I put in some gochugaru, which is Korean hot spicy pepper. Hot spicy pepper. I put in a bit of soy sauce, a bit of fish sauce, some sugar, vinegar. Toss it all together with some toasted sesame oil, and then this goes into your wrap. It creates like a nice, like, woo, kind of vinegary punch, but it's also quite crunchy from the green onions. I like to take 2 little tiny bowls. So I'm gonna put some sesame oil into this like that. So this is my little salt cat, a salt cat, ooh. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some of that into the sesame oil. And that's it. That's one of the amazing dipping sauces. So it just looks like that. And I'm gonna put it out front here because you're gonna wanna have a quick access to it. I'm also gonna have 2 more little plates, and on those plates, I'm gonna put a little bit of salt. That's it. It's kind of like a really delicious sea salt that isn't overly salty. So it might look like you're putting out a lot of salt, but really, it's not that salty tasting. And what's this? More bits? Yes, more bits. I'm gonna fill up these little wells here with a little bit of sesame oil, and I'm gonna put some of the garlic in. So I pre-sliced this garlic, right? I bought those huge cloves. I'm just gonna pour them in there with sesame oil and a bit of salt, and the heat from the grill will cook them. It's so brilliant and wonderful. I've also cut up some mushrooms, and these are gochu, and this could be super mild and a normal crunchy kind of paprika taste, or it could be a deadly firebolt. You cannot tell from the way it looks. I've had little ones over and over that were nothing, and then one day one that was just like, you don't feel anything anymore. Who knows? The way you eat these is you just dip them in the samjang and bite them. It's kind of like a refresher. So it's in between a banchan, and in between something you could grill if you want to, but most people just eat it raw. I recommend the raw.
A deadly firebolt. You cannot tell from the way it looks.
And of course, you have to have rice. So this is my Korean rice container, and they are usually piping hot. You take your meat from the grill and put it on the rice when you're waiting, and then the rice gets nicely seasoned from all the meat. Apparently, this is a bit of a faux pas in Japan. So when I went for yakiniku and I was grilling, I'd be like, oh, this piece is done. I don't want it to overcook. I put it on my rice, and people were like, you should not be putting it on your rice. So different countries, different rules. I like the sop up the meat and juice method personally, so that's what this is for. The rice. And can you Korean barbecue without soju? I have the greatest soju dispenser on the planet. So this little guy dispenses soju automatically when you go in front of him. He's not turned on right now, but you go like this and then it spurtles out. This did not exist when I lived in Korea. This is a newer invention. I tried to use it with mouthwash, but it was too much mouthwash. Turns out this is too much mouthwash, but I tried it. I was like, where were you gonna put you, bud? I guess if I'm right-handed, I might pass by you a lot and set you off. I have to put you somewhere where I don't accidentally have you spraying soju everywhere, which would be funny, but I am not willing to waste this soju because soju in Canada is so expensive. So precious soju. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event. Are we seeing the beauty of this? From here, we're gonna grab a piece of meat. This one looks amazing to me. It's got this like crispy pacha skin on the outside.
One shot then.
Ready?
Yep.
What's that?
One shot.
What's that?
Gooey.
Wow.
Oh no.
Spicy?
Yeah. I just like putting meat in my mouth. Good, solid Korean meat.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Getting it?
Oh.
Right? Oh. This will make you feel better. Eat this. I know. I'm sorry. This is a lot of meat.